don't forget that that's exactly what this course was really designed to do. And the breathing is key. You know, once again, the digestion, living your life in harmony with the natural cycles, everything we talked about, those are all pieces of the puzzle. Because we have to purify the physical body while we purify the refined perception that our nervous system is capable of.
Striker, you have the mic. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jesus. Sorry, I have been somewhat absent throughout these past few weeks because I've had several deaths in my family. One of them was very gruesome, different things. Now, I want to give you a little bit of background because of what my question is going to be. The thing is I'm a veteran. I've been in combat sports all my life, quite literally, since 4, then 9, and all these things, just martial arts, martial arts, martial arts. When I was 20, I joined the military. I was in over 550 combat missions, so I have suffered through PTSD. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that throughout my life, because of martial arts and dealing with all this trauma, I've actually had a lot of the breathing techniques you have brought up, Dr. Dullard. So I'm very, very surprised that I've been doing this naturally, but just from a natural perspective, trying to deal with this trauma. So with this in mind, out of the blue, I got a chance to try out for a BKFC, which is Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So I'm used to centering myself. I know what it takes to center myself through breathing and all that. But I haven't been in this type of combat sports in nearly 20 years. I'm not too concerned about it. As far as conditioning, all that, it's great. But I know that bare knuckle, if I get hit, I might lose my equilibrium a little bit. So I'm just wondering, what would be your recommendation in the type of breathing that I do to center myself back, because I don't want to hurt myself and I don't want to hurt my opponent either. So I finally have a chance with someone who knows everything about breathing. So I want to see what maybe you can come up with being able to regenerate as quick as possible in a situation like that.
Gosh, thank you for that question. And your service, and I love your story. And I was into martial arts when I was younger, and when I first wrote my book Body Mind Sport, which is all about nose breathing exercises, I got invited to so many dojos and taught so much to martial arts teachers and students, because they would tell me that the original, over and over again, the original martial arts was all nose breathing. They all breathe through their nose. Yes. Partly, and even boxers train with their mouth closed, because if they do, they open up their mouth, they break their jaw. So that wasn't such a good look. So as soon as you have a boxer who's got their mouth open, they're tired and they're vulnerable, right? Yeah. But breathing through the nose is really critical. And in my book, Body Mind Sport, I give you step-by-step techniques to do training so you can breathe through your nose at high levels of aerobic competition. There's also an article on my website, something like Getting into the Zone. I think that's the name of it. And that takes you step by step through the workout. And you can read the science about the breathing and how the breathing through the nose gets you right into alpha. So getting yourself into alpha, this is exactly what the whole point about is. Let's your whole thing is creating the eye of the storm. Yes. And being in the eye of the storm. And the bigger the calm, the more powerful you are. Yes. So yes, for you, it's going to be being still, holding the bow back, being still, and then taking dramatic action from that eye of the storm. For everybody else in this room who's not going to go boxing for real, as you are, it's the eye of the storm is finding that inner peace and that inner calm so you can handle the stress in your life. It's the same model. Dynamic activity and composure and calm coexist. In a hurricane, you don't have a hurricane unless you have a center. You don't have a solar system unless you have a sun sitting in the middle. You don't have an atom unless you have a nucleus, which is sitting still with electrons and photons spinning around it. Everything is based on the coexistence of opposites, dynamic, activity, and silence coexisting. So, using the breathing, the meditation to actually pull back the bow, using the nose breathing to keep that calm in place. So, in the height of competition, where you begin to lose yourself. When I worked with Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King, who both did the force of my book on breathing, they would say it's all about being within yourself, finding that inner calm, and not letting the competition distract you from you, but to stay within yourself in the heat of competition. That's what it's really about. So when you go into that ring, to me, it's all about, can you do you, or do you have to? Or you go into that ring and now you're looking to do them. I got so beat up and I'm so now into this whole thing. I want to go in there and I want to lash out. But if you stay within yourself, which is the martial art of it, you stay composure and calm, and you'll do exactly what you want to do. You'll take the championship, but you won't hurt anybody, and you won't hurt yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dillard. Yes, you mentioned one thing that you probably mentioned it before, but I've been so absent. But you mentioned alpha. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I mastered. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I mastered getting into alpha state right away because of what you just mentioned, because of the martial arts. And then when I got to the military, all that stress in my body with 90 pounds in my back for 15 miles up and down hills every other 4 days or so, I had to learn how to breathe in through my nose properly. Just it was weird. I taught it to my comrades, and they're like, "Wow, how is it that you're the smallest one, but you're keeping up with all these big guys and so forth and so on?" But the thing is I have not mastered, and this is why I'm asking you, but I have actually got into the flow state while I'm in there. What I do is I summon comfort within chaos, and I honestly believe I get into theta state of mind, and I sometimes have this out of body experience where I can see from like the a referee's view. I have almost a bird's eye view, and I can see where I have a bad guard, and I have to like move and stuff like that. And it's all through that flow state of mind. So to leave you with this last thing is, I thank you for mentioning about not getting hurt and my opponent not getting hurt, because that is my main goal. I'm not like the typical martial artist that just likes to ground and pound and things like that. That's not what the true martial arts is, and you know what it is, sir, because it's naturally to bring harmony, not just within self, but within community. So with that in mind, what I want to do with this platform is actually use it for good. And one person I want to quote right now is the founder of Aikido, which is Morihei Yeshiva. And I learned through him that if we overcome those enemies, meaning like PTSD, ego, whatever it may be, if we overcome those enemies that attack us from within, we can attain a true victory over any attack from without. So similar to what you just said, if we center ourselves, there's nothing outside of us can beat us. So with what you just said, it just confirmed for me this, and it's been amazing the words you have said. So if there's anything last thing you have for me, please give it to me, because I really need it. And because I'm actually over 40, that's another thing you mentioned about the youth. I mean, I haven't been able to do. I know I'm not. Some will not believe me, but I am over 40. I haven't been able to do a single ab crunch or sit up because of my injuries. Believe it or not, I have some injuries, but I'm still gonna go in the ring, and I'm okay. But the breathing is what's gonna keep me in center. But I haven't done a single sit up or ab crunch since 2007, and I have a 10-pack. I technically have a 12-pack, and I haven't done a single ab crunch or sit up, and that's from the breathing, from me holding it. And I usually hold it for at least a good 2 minutes before I start to let it go. Like like I've been doing this. I even have another martial arts friend, when I told him, like, hey, have you been able to hold your breath a long time? Because I was kind of weirded out that one time I went all the way to 8 minutes, believe it or not. And he's all like, oh, you too, huh? Because he's a little older than me, and he's actually from China, and he knows a lot of the martial arts. And he said, I've been able to go over 10 minutes. And this guy looks so young, and he's older than me. So thank you so much for all this knowledge.
You know that thank you so much for that. I mentioned Donner Vade today. And Dhanurveda is the Veda for warriors. It was the Veda of battle. And it was the ability to be in, like you said, that crazy dynamic world, but staying composed in yourself, never going outside of yourself. And that's what you're doing. And to the point where you get so good at that, being in that eye of that storm, that you become kind of one with your, it's a form of samadhi where we athletes have this, peak experience, where my best race is my ease race, where you feel like you're outside of your body. The more dynamic the activity, the bigger the calm.
Mm-hmm.
So one way to experience that is to do what you're doing. It's a slippery slope, though, because you can get really beat up in the process, and you can slip out of that and become very angry and vengeful and all that. But it is part of the Dhanurveda. And I've written a couple articles about Dhanurveda. You should read my articles about that. It might really, talk to you and help give you a little more insight about the Vedic approach to what you're doing. But I think what you're doing is beautiful. I think it's so cool. I love the idea that you're using sport as a mechanism for you to enhance the distraction that the outside world provides, and then use that to stay in that calm center. And every one of us now in our world are so distracted that we have no access to what's within. But I always think of sports as a model for stress. If you can handle exercise stress from that calm place, boy, why can't we roll that over into your life? And that's why using these breathing techniques to go for walks or runs or going on a bike ride, and learning how to become while your body's active. If you can do it while running or walking or hiking or jogging or whatever, why can't we do that in all aspects of our life? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thanks so much for your question. Good luck to you.
Thank you.